And good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today. In August welcome back address, I indicated that we would continue to face challenges into the academic year, but that if we work together to move SVSU in a positive direction, we'd begin to overcome these challenges. Through the efforts of our faculty and our staff, our university is indeed heading in the right direction. And so we are proud to celebrate our most recent accomplishments and look forward to the future. But valuing transparency, I would like to begin by discussing the challenges that we continue to face in the next year. Enrollment, as you well know, continues to be a priority and a challenge. Our fall headcount was 8662 compared to 9165 last fall. Total student credit hours have decreased some 50,000, or over 18%, from our peak enrollment of 10,800 students back in 2011 and 12. To put some perspective, 1% in student credit hours is equal to approximately $900,000 in lost revenue. So 18% is roughly $17 million in reduced revenue. As you know, there are several reasons for this decline, one of which is the decline in high school graduates in Michigan and throughout the entire Midwest. A smaller percentage of graduates from high school are now enrolling at universities. Visa restrictions have reduced the number of available international students coming into the United States, and in particular, SVSU, for courses. And there's intense competition between all the universities in this state and throughout the country to enroll students. SVSU has effectively managed the decline in student population by implementing a series of budget reductions over the past 5 years, which include workforce reductions to ensure that revenues and expenditures are in alignment. Many universities across the United States and in Michigan are dealing with enrollment declines and budget reductions every day. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, it was reported that another one of our 15 public universities in Michigan is planning on a reduction in the size of their workforce by 60 persons this fall. This is a circumstance that we've tried hard to avoid, and layoffs have always been our last resort. Since our enrollment peak, the full-time equivalent employees at SVSU have declined about 6 to 8% amongst the three work groups, the faculty, the administrative staff, and the support staff. I understand the process of scaling down is difficult, but we have managed this process thoughtfully and, in my judgment, effectively. Position elimination has been gradual, and when possible, we try and align them with planned departures rather than resorting to layoffs. This planning and implementation has served this institution well. We have managed to present balanced budgets annually to the Board of Control. We have retained and built our academic programs. We have maintained our grounds and facilities at a very high level to benefit our students and all of us who work here. We have preserved our deferred maintenance budget and maintained a grade A credit rating from Standard & Poor's. Thanks to Jim Mullador, Sue Crane, Steve McPherson, Deb Huntley, all of the deans of the 5 colleges, and a host of managers who have contributed to this effective budget planning. However, our primary goal is to increase enrollment. Prudent enrollment management is key to SVSU and leads to stable staffing and budget planning over time. We do have a strategy in place to maintain the financial and academic integrity of our institution, and we are seeing very promising results. The enrollment management plan was drafted over the course of 4 months by a collaborative group of people led by Deborah Huntley, Sidney Childs, Jim Dwyer, Robert Lemuel, Jennifer Paul, and Linda Sims. This comprehensive plan addresses a number of goals outlined in our university's strategic plan. These goals are to determine the sustainable size of this institution over time. And we've concluded that that sustainable size in this time is 8,500 students. Develop specific recruitment and retention targets to maintain this goal. Use best practices in admissions and financial aid to reach these targets and encourage diversity. Review academic programs to meet the needs of students in this region. And finally, to develop marketing and communication strategies that effectively attract students. Meeting the goal of 8,500 students will require some very serious work on our part. Last year, we had 1,180 domestic freshmen join us at SVSU. This year, we will need 1,300 freshmen to make this plan work. That's an increase of about 120 students over last year. We also need to increase our graduate student enrollment from 900 to 1,100. We need to continue to stabilize transfer numbers from community colleges and other universities. We need to stabilize international student enrollment. We need to increase first and second year retention rates from 74% to 78% in accordance with our strategic plan. Enrollment management includes every step of the student's enrollment experience, from recruitment until graduation. In this process, we all have to play a part. So you might ask, where are we today? I am really pleased to report that the applications for this fall's class have increased 15% over a year ago at this time. The number of admitted students is 24% ahead of last year at this time. We have over 5,000 students that have been approved for admission to SVSU. We're 1 month ahead of orientation deposits, which is very encouraging, since a very high percentage of students who register for orientation historically have decided to attend SVSU. The academic credentials of this fall's class are very strong. Over 1,200 students are recipients of the new university scholarships that we are offering. Part of maintaining these healthy numbers is developing programs in high-demand areas. The faculty have responded by developing new programs that include graduate programs in social work and computer science, an online MBA for graduate students, a doctoral DMP in nursing practice that included expansion into the area of administration, an advanced certification program for teaching. As you can see, early indicators suggest that our new strategy and the effective execution of our new enrollment plan is working. There is no denying that SVSU is a very special place, and we have received a number of outstanding honors in this past year. This includes being recognized once again as a great college to work for by the Chronicle of Higher Education, Best for Vets College by the Military Times, and home to the best dorms in all of Michigan. For the first time, we've been recognized as number 2 in the country amongst the 512 public universities surveyed. We were also recognized as an outstanding institution for corporate community service by the Saginaw Chamber of Commerce. And recently, our College of Business and Management was reaccredited by AACSB, the gold standard for business schools. In the last year, our College of Education, our Medical Lab Sciences program, our Music Education program, and our English Language program were all reaccredited by their professional bodies with very high scores. These are formal recognitions, but perhaps the most exciting and telling accolades come to us from prospective students and their parents while they take campus tours. Visitors to our campus are also a good source of insight. Visiting athletic teams and guest artists and visiting faculty members who perform in the Rhea Miller Auditorium and the Field Auditorium. Candidates who come to campus pursuing employment with us are also a good source of feedback about the people, the culture, and the facilities of SVSU. Our tour guides, our young students, are described as friendly, knowledgeable, and welcoming. Generally, people describe our campus as spectacular, beautiful, and well-maintained. They describe our people as friendly, helpful, and genuine. They also state, and I quote, "The environment seems special at this place." For those of us who visit other campuses and even outside organizations, we know this is a unique place. But because we are in this environment every day, it is easy to take it for granted. For that reason, I would like to share a short story from a former SVSU student. Let's call her Laura, because that's her name. Let's call her Laura, who worked in the president's office for 2 years. She was a great student, very pleased to have been enrolled in our business program for three and a half years. She had a wonderful experience there. With the help of Mike Major, Laura landed a great internship with a major employer in southeastern Michigan, where she came from. Laura performed at a very high level during that internship, and the employer noted her potential. So much that they offered her a full-time job, even before she completed her degree. Several people in the College of Business and the registrar's office arranged for her degree completion at an institution downstate, so off she went. Shortly after she started her job and her remaining classes, she sent a note our way. Laura said, and I quote, "We sit at wooden desks and have chalkboards like we're in the 1800s. No one holds the door for me, and no one says thank you when I hold the door for them. SVSU is such a special place, and I miss it so much." Well, this is not an isolated example of the impact we make on those who attend and visit us at SVSU. This is simply how we roll. Part of our core values are stated in our strategic plan. Have a safe, friendly, and respectful campus climate. In the last few weeks, people have been asking me more about Title IX. I always begin the conversation by stating that SVSU is committed to combating sexual assault, harassment, and discrimination of any kind. We have a comprehensive sexual misconduct policy in our operating manual. And we have a number of employees, both faculty and staff, who have been formally trained in this policy and investigative techniques and are capable of managing and investigating inappropriate conduct. There are many reminders campus-wide to reinforce our policies. You'll also receive an information card on what you can do as responsible employees as you leave this auditorium today. Our responsibility as employees is to report any knowledge of misconduct on our campus. If you see something, say something. Now to celebrate some of our most recent accomplishments. One of the most challenging parts of writing this speech is choosing which accomplishments to highlight, simply because there are so many. I'll start with the faculty. We have some of the best faculty in higher education at SVSU. Faculty who research at extraordinary levels and still make students a very top priority in their professional lives. I would like to highlight just a few of them today. Dr. Sally Decker, professor of nursing, was recently awarded the prestigious Fulbright Scholarship. She will spend 4 months in Dublin, Ireland, teaching health education courses and working with faculty members at the Royal College of Surgeons on topics related to the use of simulation in health education. Dr. Jay Scott, associate professor of biology, and Dr. Danilo Sirius, professor of management, were selected as recipients of our highly regarded Braun Research Award. Dr. Eric Gardner, professor of English, once again received the book prize from the Research Society of American Periodicals. His research explores periodicals created for African Americans by African Americans. Lori Reed of the physics department was honored by the American Association of Physics Teachers as the AATP Fellow, which acknowledges her exceptional commitment to undergraduate education. These are in addition to dozens of faculty members who have presented their research at professional conferences across the country and throughout the world during the last year. We have recently learned of the honorees of the Young YWCA Women of Achievement Awards for this year. Dr. Kathleen Schachman, the Harvey Randall Wicks Endowed Chair of Nursing. Jamie Zeckman, University Police Detective at SVSU. And Mary Jo Brandamore, retired Dean of Students, are the recipients. Beth Alford, Director of Military Affairs, successfully organized 2 major recognition events for our student veterans on Veterans Day and at a recent SVSU basketball game. Writing Center Director Helen Reka-Klotz is leading efforts to host the regional triennial Rathke Festival honoring this Saginaw poet. Andy Bethune and those in the foundation office organized another successful 2-2 for SVSU fundraiser, which raised over $65,000 for student scholarships in 24 hours. Thank you to the 84 current and retired employees who contributed to this fundraiser, and to alumni Fred Herring and John Stadwick for their generous contribution to this important campaign. Dr. Mamie Thorns and her team in diversity programs led a successful MLK celebration featuring Karen Carter, the Chief Inclusion Officer at the Dow Chemical Company. Assistant Director of Student Wellness Programs, Courtney Heilman, received national recognition for her work in the area of peer health education. Dr. Josh Odie, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, along with Board of Control member Joanne Crary, has taken the lead in a new partnership with Saginaw Future that will work to attract and retain talent in the Great Lakes Bay region. Dr. Odie and Adrian Cole and Carolyn Weirda are also collaborating to continue expanding our STEM initiatives. Post-retirement, Carolyn Weirda will remain in a new capacity as a special advisor to the President for STEM initiatives, while Adrian Cole will lead the day-to-day SVSU STEM responsibilities. Many thanks to these individuals and Dave Karpovich and Stephanie Brouet of the Chemistry Department for their leadership as faculty in these STEM initiatives. Several of our SVSU staff and faculty, including Susan Brosser and Heather O'Hearn, and the entire University Communications staff, are preparing for the return of the first robotics state championship in April, which brought 5,000 new visitors to campus last year. Several of these visiting high schoolers from last year's event have applied to attend SVSU. Dr. Thorns, Laura Peel, Ann Coburn Collins, and Dr. Joni Boy Beeman have worked hard to organize and implement a series of cultural competency workshops for faculty and students over the past year. Through the fine work of Dr. David Callejo, Janet Wrench, and her team in sponsored programs, SVSU was awarded a $3.5 million grant from the United States Department of Education. This was a highly competitive grant process, and SVSU was one of only 7 colleges or universities awarded in the United States. These funds will be used to improve our student retention efforts. Again, thanks to the efforts of Jim Mullidor, Steve Hukor, John Kaczynski, Andy Bethune, Tony Bowron, and the College of Business and Management Advisory Board, and many others, we have secured nearly $10 million in state funding to support our business school building project. The SVSU Foundation is undertaking a $15 million private fundraising campaign to support this endeavor. Andy Bethune will be standing at the back of the auditorium at the end of this speech if you'd like to discuss these opportunities further with him. With construction authorization granted in December of last year, we can expect to break ground on this 38,500 square foot facility in the fall. Our goal is to begin offering classes in the new space in the winter term of 2020. This expansion will modernize how we teach business classes and provide new opportunities to learn and collaborate for our business students and for those in our business community. With this project approved at the state level, we will now turn our attention to securing state support for the renovation of the Doane Science West and Brown Hall complex. It's hard to believe, but that facility is now 32 years old. All of these renovations add to the value of our great campus. We completed several other projects in the last year: the Zanow Library, the food court, the Starbucks renovation. For those of you that like teriyaki chicken or orange chicken, we have the Panda Express with very long lines on a daily basis. The Zanow Library and food court is part of that renovation, and we just completed a major renovation of the Mary Jo Brandenborg Residence Hall. Continued commitment to energy-efficient operations remain a high priority, and SVSU is one of the most energy-efficient public universities in Michigan, and we intend to stay that way. These are in addition to many other deferred maintenance projects: roof repairs, parking lot improvements, and heating and cooling system upgrades across our campus. These projects, in addition to the faculty and staff accomplishments mentioned, are reason to celebrate and reason to share what we do with others at this institution. Speaking of sharing accomplishments, Alumni Relations continues to promote SVSU Connect. This is truly an impressive platform that provides us at this university to tell our stories and for the graduates of SVSU to tell their stories. It is amazing when prospective students and their parents can log on to SVSU Connect and ask questions like, where do your nursing students work? And you click on nursing graduates and you find them everywhere. I found them at Mid-Michigan over Christmas break. I found them at Covenant over Christmas break. And I found some more at St. Mary's over Christmas break. But they're everywhere. They're at Mayo Clinic, University of Michigan. They're at all of these places and held in very high regard. It's the same with Click on Accounting. They're everywhere. Yo, Price, they're everywhere. Click on Criminal Justice, FBI, Secret Service, County Sheriff's Department, State Police. The power of this instrument for recruiting students and advising parents on what SVSU graduates do and are capable of doing is amazing. So for those of you that haven't heard the talk from Jim Dwyer, he'll be in a neighborhood near yours very soon. So many thanks to Jim and his staff for making this particular vehicle possible for us at SVSU. Our marketing campaign, led by Linda Sims and those in University Communications, is also making major strides in sharing our university brand across this state and beyond. Most recently, University Communications launched a series of cardinal close-ups for each of our 5 colleges. These can be found on the home pages of each of the colleges' websites. New advertising, billboards, TV, radio, and digital ads reach beyond the region and include areas in southeastern Michigan. And you can spot our athletic teams driving a competition in the newly wrapped motor coach. It serves as a moving billboard featuring athletes, real SVSU athletes. This, in addition to the Alumni Office's Drive with Red Pride license plate initiative, allows us to market this institution on the roads, in the community, and across the country. Of course, all of these efforts are not for our own self-interest, but for the interest of our students, who continue to achieve amazing things year after year. Moot Court, led by Dr. Julie Kyle, sent 2 teams to the national tournament in Dallas, and for the first time, SVSU earned 2 Orator Awards. Gabe Klotz, a political science major, took 3rd place in oration, making him the first student to win an Orator Award twice for SVSU. Saginaw entered the national tournament and ranked 24th out of 425 colleges and universities nationwide. These students compete against students and universities like Baylor, University of Central Florida, and Duke. SVSU pre-med students and pre-health profession students exceed the admissions rate to medical, dental, optometry, and physical assistant and veterinarian programs at nearly twice the national average. Now, the national average is 43% of graduates who apply to these professional programs gain admittance. At SVSU, the rate's 80%. It certainly is a testament to the overall quality of the academic preparation, because if you look at the list of universities and medical schools and dental schools that these SVSU grads are admitted to, they're the who's who in graduate programs and graduate education. These are places that have extraordinarily high standards and a high level of competition. But I'd like to thank in particular Heidi Lang, who's our pre-med advisor and pre-med or pre-health professions advisor, because Heidi is very good at communicating the level of excellence required of students to be competitive at this particular rate. So her guidance from her freshman year right through the senior year, I think, has a lot to do with how well we do in this particular area of graduate admissions. So thank you, Heidi Lang. All 6 of our business students who competed in last weekend's DECA competition qualified for the Nationals. DECA is an international association in business to prepare leaders in entrepreneurship for careers in business. Congratulations to Professor Amy Hendrickson and Dr. Betsy Pierce and their students for the fantastic showing. especially since this is the first time our business students ever competed in this kind of competition. Our student-produced literary journal, The Cardinal Sins, was recognized as the most outstanding university literary art magazine by the American Scholastic Press. 20 theater students qualified to compete at the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival in Indianapolis against 1,400 other students in the Midwest. 3 students advanced to the semifinals, and another advanced to the finals for the musical theater intensive portion of the festival. Both are program firsts. 3 students in our forensics program have qualified to compete at the 2018 National Forensics Association National Championship Tournament in April at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Jill Castle, a communications major from Standish, Michigan, earned first place individual award during the Michigan Intercollegiate Speech League Tournament. Her teammate Drew Brickle, a criminal justice major from Midland, and Tyler Jewell, a creative writing major from Essexville, Michigan, also advanced to the finals. SVSU's Cardinal Racing Team finished as the top undergraduate team for the 3rd year in a row at the Formula SAE Collegiate Design Series. They placed 45th in the world, beating out Michigan Tech, Penn State, and the Boilermakers. Student Association once again defeated Grand Valley in the Battle of the Valleys fundraiser, raising over $32,000 for the Mustard Seed Shelter in Saginaw, Michigan. Freshman football player Chad Galliard was awarded the GLIAC Freshman of the Year award for his performance during the football season. Our student athletes have achieved an overall grade point of 3.0, placing them among the top students at SVSU. 190 athletes received all academic honors, including 76 being honored by the GLIAC and 7 academic All-American honors. Our students overall at SVSU have volunteered for more than 19,000 hours of service projects in this region and in our state and beyond in the last year. For example, a dozen members of our baseball team spent 10 days in Nicaragua to compete and engage in service work. And Alternative Breaks, led by Jason Schomeyer, sent 90 SVSU students to perform service across the country over winter break. Almost 200 students studied abroad in over 23 countries during the last academic year. Bear in mind that these accomplishments only skim the surface of what our students have done and what they are capable of doing. Our students' success gives purpose to the work that we do. We make great things possible for our students, and they go out and they make us proud on the local, state, national, and worldwide stages. In spite of our relative size to other institutions across the country, our students compete with the very best. They research, they lead, they achieve, and this is because of you. From recognizing our student veterans to coaching the next generation of orators, never underestimate the part that you play in making SVSU a very special place, a place that I'm proud of. I know that you share the sense of pride with me as well. In times of difficulty, which are unavoidable in any institution, know that I care deeply about this university, its personnel, and its students. And I take tremendous pride in the things, big and small, that we do every day. So it's with the deepest sincerity that I say thank you to our faculty, to our staff, and to our students, and to the Board of Control for your unwavering commitment and service to this great place. Our work is never over, and I look forward to working alongside you to meet the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you for listening, and once again, thank you for being here this afternoon.